dear students, again we will be continuing the leukemia. So now we will be discussing the second type of acute leukemia, that is acute myeloid leukemia, and comparing to acute lymphoid leukemia which we were discussing till now, it is very less common, that is only 10 to 20% of incidence rate can be seen for acute myeloid leukemia. So acute myeloid leukemia, already we have seen that it is myeloid in origin and uncontrolled proliferation of myeloblast, which is the precursor of granulocytes. So that is the myeloid cells will be affected, myeloblast will be affected, that is immature myeloid progenitor will be affected. Accounts for 15 to 20% of childhood leukemia. Already in the previous slide also we have seen 10 to 20% or 15 to 20% of incidence is there. AML is more complex and resistant disease than ALL. The prognosis is comparatively less than ALL, and acute myeloid leukemia is also called acute myelogenous leukemia, acute myeloblastic leukemia, acute granulocytic leukemia, or acute non-lymphocytic leukemia, or ANLL. That is also AML or ANLL. These are the common abbreviations and other names which we use for acute myeloid leukemia. Subtypes, there are mainly 5 subtypes are there: acute myeloblastic leukemia, acute promyelocytic leukemia, acute myelomonocytic leukemia, acute monocytic leukemia, acute erythrocytic leukemia. So these are based on the type of cells which is involved in the, or which are the type of cells which becomes immature. This is the basis of this subtypes. Regarding the etiology is not known as any other leukemia, usually seen following ionizing radiation, congenital and acquired disorders, and factors like Down syndrome, Fanconi's anemia, and certain drugs like alkylating agents and epipodophylotoxins. So the treatment chemotherapy drugs which we use for any other cancers condition like epipodophylotoxins also can be seen for epipodophylotoxins also can leads to this particular leukemia. Regarding the pathophysiology, that's already we have discussed. This due to etiological factors, proliferation of WBCs can be the infiltration and replacement of any tissue of body with non-functional leukemic cells can be the, then it depresses the production of formed elements of the blood in bone marrow and commonly affects vascular organs like spleen, liver, bone marrow, etc., and shows symptoms. So the problem is with the infiltration and replacement of normal tissue with non-functional leukemic cell, which depress the formation of normal elements and which is forming in the blood. So these are the problems with this also. Clinical features, that is pallor can be there, anemia can be there, fatigue can be there, bleeding, fever, then organomegaly, thrombocytopenia and neutropenia, then disseminated intravascular coagulation DIC, WBC counts will be high, especially immature, CNS manifestations also can be seen. So like one chloromas also can be seen, that is the painless lumps that are sometimes around the eyes, and these are known as chloromas, are sometimes seen in children with the AML, and it will be like a blue green color can be seen. So this is about the clinical features, and special thing which we see in myeloid leukemia is chloromas around the eye. Regarding the diagnosis, bone marrow examination can be done. Morphology, cytochemical, immunophenotypic, and genetic characteristics of the leukemic blast can be identified. Regarding the treatment, induction therapy can be done, that is combination of cytosine arabinoside and anthracycline, doxorubicin or daunorubicin. Then CNS prophylactic therapy, that is can be done intrathecally, or cranial radiation can be done. Post remission therapy, consolidation therapy, high dose of chemotherapy including arabinoside C and etoposide, or bone marrow transplantation, because in AML it is very resistant to treatment and the prognosis is very poor in AML comparing to ALL. So the treatment option finally will be going for bone marrow transplantation. Here also supportive therapy is very important, like blood component therapy, like red blood cell, platelet transfusion may be required, antibiotics may be required for preventing infection, nutritional and metabolic needs should be treated with nutrition therapy. Psychosocial support is required in every aspect of management. Treatment in tertiary care center or pediatric oncology department with all facilities can be done. So the next one is chronic myeloid leukemia. That is only very negligible amount, that is only 2 to 3% of children can be seen with chronic myeloid leukemia. In chronic myelogenous leukemia, there's too many bone marrow stem cells develop into a type of white blood cell called granulocytes. Some of these bone marrow stem cells never become mature white blood cells. These are called blasts. Over time, the granulocytes and blasts crowd out the red blood cells and platelets in the bone marrow. But it is very rare in children. So this is the chronic myelogenous leukemia. So here also the problem is with the crowding of normal cells with the abnormal cells. So that is a main problem in this condition also, but it is a chronic condition. And I am adding one more type of leukemia, that is juvenile myelomonocytic leukemia. It is a rare childhood cancer and it occurs more often in children around the age of 2 years. Very small children will be affected. In juvenile myelomonocytic leukemia, too many bone marrow stem cells develop into two types of WBC called myelocytes and monocytes. So two types of cells will be affected. Some of these bone marrow stem cells never become mature white blood cells. These immature cells called blasts are unable to do their usual work. So two types of cells transforms into abnormal cells. And over time, these myelocytes, monocytes and blasts crowd out the red blood cell and platelets in the bone marrow. When this happens, infection, anemia or easy bleeding may occur. So that is a problem with juvenile myelomonocytic leukemia. It is very uncommon, but it can be seen in the children, very small children, that is very age of 2 years. Then some points regarding hematopoietic stem cell transplantation. It has been used successfully for the treatment of children with ALL and AML, and it is recommended for the children with ALL during the first remission, because excellent results can happen due to chemotherapy, and because of poor prognosis in AML it is recommended. ALL it is not recommended for the children with ALL, because usually chemotherapy will give excellent results. It is not on a second point, because the poor and AML we may require this management. Nursing management is important, like psychosocial care, physical aspects of care like infection, pain management, side effects of chemotherapy should be treated, and nutritional problems should be treated properly. So this is about the nursing management and other aspects of leukemia. So we saw leukemia, what it is, etiology, classification, and in mainly acute and chronic. And in acute we saw two types like lymphoid and myeloid, and its type and other details we saw. And in chronic, that is chronic myeloid, and juvenile condition also it's discussed. Hope you understood the sessions. Thank you.